Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TalkTruth Series, where we have real talk, real people live. I am your host, Shanique Davis, and I want to greet you all. Thank you so much for keeping tuned, for messaging and everything, for being so supportive and so compassionate. I really appreciate the love. Thank you for waiting. I know we're a bit late, but we appreciate it nonetheless. We are going to get started. And as we usually do, I'm going to start us off with a brief word of prayer. And then I will tell you who our guest is for this evening. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we give you thanks for today. God, you are wonderful. You are awesome. God, and we thank you that every little cell in our body is well. We pray, God, that you will take control tonight as your woman servant sits to speak to your people on topics and subjects that they are more than willing and so eager to know about. We pray that, Lord, you'll grant her the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to share. Pray for compassion for your people. We pray that, Lord, the answers that they've been looking for will be opened here. Father, we just ask you for these and other mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on screen and then I will tell you a little bit more about her. All right. So, based on tonight's topic, you see that we're going to be talking about owning where you live. Now, our guest for this evening is a buoyant, confident, reliable individual who is concerned with productivity, highly goal oriented, driven, and exercises her initiative when necessary. Who doesn't want to meet someone like that, right? With her background in accounting and inventory, she provides personalized, innovative, target oriented consultations to real estate novices and seasoned investors alike. Tonight, our guest for the evening, Miss Camelia Carter, joins Talk Truth Series to tell us more about where we live. Ladies and gentlemen, please make her welcome. Show her some love. Good
Hi, everyone.
evening.
Good night. Good night. Thank you for having me, Shanique.
Yes. Audio is perfect. All right. It's perfect. Just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you and what you do in case I miss anything, and then I'll get right into the questions.
Wow, introduce myself. I think you've done amazing doing that. But ah, Camelia the realtor, Camelia the golden girl, a mother,
Yes.
a friend, a realtor, God fearing, and just loves to help others, especially in the field that I am in. And yeah, that's just about it. Of course, I'm
Yeah.
fun loving while doing it. So even though it can be stressful trying to purchase your home, I
Yes.
try to make it very light and fun as well.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. So, how do you make it light and fun? Because I know in your bio you said that you help novices. So that means persons who don't really know much about real estate, right?
Yes. So for the first time buyers, especially for the first time buyers, who has no idea most times what the process includes, or even may have a little idea but just don't know how to reach the goal. So I make it easy by taking the stress off you. So while sleeping, I am the one who is worrying about all the other aspect of closing on your home on time and ensure that you meet your goal. For the novices, first time purchasers, I like working with you because once you tell me the goal, I am going to, as long as you will allow me, I am going to walk the entire step the entire process with you. And of course, I'll help you pencil out the dollars and cents, the SE part of it, not the CENTS, um, and cents of it, so you can achieve that goal. And I guess it's very personal for me in terms of first time buyers because I know what it can be like to want to own something. And when you look in the market, you're like, what can I afford? Yes.
Hmm. Which brings us to the first question. So, I've
Ah,
never bought a home before,
mhm.
and I'm
Well, we're
sure
going
that
to
many.
buy one. After tonight, we are going to help you to buy one.
Okay. And I'm sure that many of our viewers are like, have no clue what this thing is about buying homes. We see the signs put up at the gates for sale or sold or something. And we see this pretty face on the card. This person is selling. All right. I'm just confused. But the biggest question is, as you said, we look in the market, we really want the house, but why are they so expensive?
Um, the truth and
Mhm.
the raw truth is what we're talking about tonight, right? And
Right.
one of the reasons why um, the housing market is the way it is, outside of the fact that some persons do not, in some areas, have to have the prices so high, but one of the main reason is demand and supply, inflation. And even though inflation may not be such a bad thing, when it comes to demand and supply in the real estate market, especially for middle to low income earners, it does affect their buying power, what they can afford, and if they can afford anything. So that sometimes when they look at, okay, so I get the contribution from NHD, the 2.5, and that can buy the land. Um, it's more than 2.5 to close on the property, and they may not have the balance because they possibly need another 500 $600,000 to close on that 2.5 million dollar land. So yeah, demand and supply is basically what is causing that right now.
Okay.
We don't have enough, what should I say, affordable housing for the demand that we're seeing right now.
I understand. That makes sense. But and also in every other thing that we see as an asset or a valuable asset, then it's going to come at a cost. And as you said, supply and demand, we don't have enough of what people can afford so that we can make the investments that are good for us and our
And
families.
and another reason is material costs, especially
Mhm.
if you're going to build. Again, inflation contribute to this, but it is sad to say that almost every 3 4 5 weeks you go to the hardware, something has increased. So if you decide to build something, try to keep within the budgeted time, because the estimate cost of building that house within that time, if you go over it, you will see increases.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let me check to see if anybody else had any concerns about the cost. All right, so they'll catch up. They're just joining.
Okay.
So, keeping on track, my next question for you: what's the process for owning or obtaining a house? All right, we know it's expensive, and we probably contacted a few people. Maybe we have sat down with our spouses and we say, all right, we're going to save or we're going to try investment so we can pay down on the house. We get that out of the way. How do we now own where we want to live?
All right. The first thing I always tell persons is knowing exactly what you want, what you want in the house, where you want to live. Then everything else can come after. So the process would be, of course, contact the golden girl, because I'll be holding your hand and I will be selling myself through this interview.
No
Contact the
problem. Listen,
contact
go
a realtor.
ahead.
contact a realtor, someone that you can work with, someone that knows what it is that you want to achieve, and then work from there. Sometimes some realtors or some of us may have our hands full and we can't take the influx. So on your side, knowing exactly what you want and work within the budget is the first two things. So if you know that you are earning X amount per month, per year, and you fall in the low middle income earning bracket, do not go looking for property in Jack's Hill. You cannot afford it. Do not even stress yourself out by looking at those properties because you know that you cannot afford it. So once you know what you want, it makes the process a little bit easier to help you to reach that goal. So you come to me, you know what you want, then we sit down and we pencil it because I do run the figures. Are you qualified for NHT? So that's the first thing. If you come to me before you even go to NHT or you're just considering it, I had a 22-year-old. She's now, I think, 23, 24. And her goal after school was to own her own home. And we have achieved that. She started saving, so we walked through the steps. VMBS has a saving account called iSave. A lot of persons have used that, and she started saving there. Started saving for a deposit, and it superseded the deposit. So when she saw something that she could have afforded and there was a shortfall, she had enough money in that account to cover her closing costs and cover the shortfall. So know what you want, know exactly where you want to buy, know your budget, and then start saving. Next thing you want to do is to clean up your credit. So if you know you have, I know some persons might be thinking, okay, I have student loans, so I possibly cannot own a home. Yes, you can. It's going to take, again, budget, working in the budget, and discipline. We hear that word in every area of our life, discipline. So if you used to go out every weekend, yeah, you need to own your home in 2022. You're going to have to limit the entertainment. So possibly move it from a every weekend to maybe twice, or maybe once a month, or maybe once every quarter, to save towards that goal. Clean up your credit. If you owed courts, if you have some other higher purchase, start paying down on that. And another thing that will affect, because most persons right now, what we're seeing in the market, especially first time buyers and the younger buyers who are in the middle to low income bracket, they're going through mortgage. And the mortgage companies are looking at your credit history. So if you pay light bill back, yes, that is actually a thing. If you don't pay on time, it is actually a thing. So start the discipline from there. It becomes easier. If you had a higher purchase that you pay on, it's a monthly payment, but you pay when you choose to, start paying on time because they're watching these things. And the reason they're watching it is to check to see if you are credit worthy enough for them to lend you their money. They don't want to lend you money they don't want to lend somebody who is at a higher risk of not being able to pay it back or just stop and run away. They want to know that their investment, because it's an investment for them, is safe with you. And you should put yourself in a position that everybody would want to lend you to purchase your home. And why you should clean up your credit, truth be told, it's all about truth this evening, right? It's a very long term commitment. Possibly sometimes it's longer than some marriages, and that is the truth. It Depending on your age, it can be 35 years, it can be 30 years. That's a very long term commitment to any any purchase at all. So you want to know that should in case something happen 10, 15 years down the line, you don't lose your investment. You've been paying on this property for so long, and then something happen and floops, the bank take it back and resell it. You don't want that. So Discipline in how you manage your credit from early, from the start, helps you to continue that record, not just for the lenders, but also for yourself. Yes.
I like that. And the main thing that stood out for me is you basically have to know what you want and come to terms with what position you are in so
Mm-hmm.
that you can make necessary steps to get the house that you want where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know yourself, know your money.
One
Then you
other
can own.
important thing, your first purchase may not be your dream house. I am so sorry to burst your bubble. Shanique, your first house, your first purchase may not be the dream house. It could be the third purchase that you make in your life that you ended up having what you wanted to have from you were a child, this nice mansion, if it is that is a mansion you have. So you have to bear that in mind. Be very realistic with yourself, so you don't pressure yourself that when you see something and it looks so nice but you can't afford it, you're stressed out. Oh boy, everything on the market is so expensive. Back to the first question, why is real estate so expensive? I can't afford it. But sometimes if you put yourself in that position, you will be able to afford something within that budget. And guess what? You see that first purchase can propel you to your dream home.
Yeah. That sounds good. It sounds very promising, and I'm sure that the other persons here who are watching are also saying the same thing. So for the persons who came on late, thank you very much for joining. Nick Motivates was here from the day I created the live. Thank you for joining us. um, I saw somebody else. Kemar is here,
Hi, Kamar.
and
Hi.
Stephanie Brown. She says, good evening. So, guys, we're talking about own where you live. So, if you are a person that has a dream of owning somewhere, you don't want to pay rent forever,
No, you shouldn't. You
you
should
don't
aim.
want to
You should aim to
catch
be
somewhere.
your landlord.
Go again?
You should aim to be your landlord.
Right. Oh my God. Same way everybody's aiming to be their own boss or CEO, aim to own where you live. I
Yeah.
know it sounds like a tedious process, but our golden girl is here and she has promised that whenever you are ready, based on what she just explained, she will be there to hold your hand. A lot of us need hand holding. No matter how many explaining a person does, we need some hand holding at some point. And we
Yeah.
need to find somebody that we can really trust, somebody who knows what they're doing. And she
Come to
has given us a lot of information. So listen, go again.
I said, come to me very early.
Yes,
And your
very
age,
early.
and the younger you are, is the better it is for you if you are looking to buy with mortgage. So come to me
Right.
right now.
Okay, so you're just running for the next question. I was
Really?
gonna ask you about the age groups that are qualified to own houses. Is there a particular age group you said the younger you are, the better? Is it because of the length of time that it's going to take? You mentioned it may take you 35 years,
Yes.
some amount of years based on the investment.
Mm-hmm. So yes, it is the younger you are, and you can start from 18. From you're an adult, you can legally sign on all documents. If let's say you were born with a gold spoon, and your parents gave you some funds and you're 16, you possibly can, but they will have to be your guardian. So they will sign on all the documents for you until you reach of age and do that transfer over into your name if you choose to do that. But you can legally purchase your own home by yourself at age 18. So if you are the younger you are, so I think one of the things that a lot of persons didn't learn, including myself when I was younger, is to think about owning where you live. I grew up seeing my parents, well, my mother moving from one tenanted property to another, and I was never told that, and it didn't come to me when I was that young too. I want to own something for myself. So as adults or as parents, we need to talk to our children from their young to start thinking about and saving towards, even if it's $50. It's the discipline that you're teaching them at that age to now move towards adulthood to earning their own. So the younger you are, 18, you may, based on what you're earning, once you're 18 and working, because you have to show proof of income that you can repay the mortgage, um, you get a longer time span. Most persons will go up to, most mortgage entities will go up to about 35 years. I'm not sure if some will go over that. But once you are younger, your monthly payment is usually less. So what it would take somebody who is 40 years old borrowing a mortgage now, if you were 25, your amount would have been less per month. So the older you get, the less time you get to pay off that mortgage, which means your monthly installment is more than somebody who is younger. So you have more time, you have more wiggle room, paying off your mortgage. And then guess what? Um, the earlier you are, let's say you borrow NHT and you work and bill, because NHT give a ceiling of 6.5, and you find something for $3 million. So you, in your iSave account, saved up your deposit plus the 500,000, and you bought something for $3 million. You have the $4 million to try and build something. Now you go back to NHD and you get that. Let me tell you, you may not be able to build much. Possibly can afford a 1 bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen in the time being. But over time, the younger you start, you'll be able to build another 2 room. So you can control your space. What can happen? You can now add a 1 bedroom studio as a rental income on that premises. So you live in your 2 bedrooms, because you're now up to 2 bedrooms, and you have a 1 bedroom on the side. That 1 bedroom can possibly, based on your age and the amount of money that you're paying back per month, can cover your mortgage. So that's a thought as well. And for persons who are in the bracket and up, they can look at fixer uppers that they can purchase and still get something on the side that can cover part of the cost for the mortgage every month, or possibly cover the entire mortgage per month. So you are living in your own space, rent free, but you're collecting rent that covers your mortgage. So that expense per month is not coming out of your income. You know, can consider adding another 1 bedroom structure at the back or the side of the premises to do another rental income. So, as I said, I sit with persons, I hear their goals, and I guide and assist them as much as possible. I remember this young guy wanted a property and he had a car. He had a shortfall and he didn't want to give up the car because it was his luxury. He had to drive to work. I said, look here, sir, sell the car, get the shortfall, pay for the property. In another 2, 3 years, you'll be able to buy another car. But right now, you need somewhere to live. You know what he had done? Build up a nice little structure, have a little rental over the side, 1 bedroom. He's not finished with his section, but it ensure that he finished the 1 bedroom, rent it out, have a little 1 bedroom with a bathroom, and he has a little section where he park the 1 bedroom, cooking in, still buys car, has income from the property, and still trying to finish his side of the premises. So it's working with your goals. Let me hear what you want, and then I can advise based on where you are in life, what your goals are, your financial commitments are, and we can work with that. And no person say that the market is expensive, and we're not denying that. But there are ways that you can achieve your goal if you put it at a reasonable bar that you can reach for now. As I said, your dream home may not be your first purchase, but that first purchase can help propel you financially to afford your dream home in another 10, 15 years.
That's awesome. And I love the initiative in what you said. And guys who were here when I introduced our guest tonight, I did mention that she says she uses initiative. So she is able to guide you in the places where you feel stuck and you feel like, all right, this never made no sense. It never made no sense to start. All right, may go back out. She really pushes you to get the dream home. Is there like the best time to purchase a house? Is there such a thing? I know
Yes,
in every market there's the best time to purchase something.
there
Tell
is
us
a best
about that.
time to purchase your house, and that was 5 years ago. Hello.
Yeah, man, keep talking. I'm giving you the screen.
Okay, the best time to purchase was 5 years ago. Reason being because if you wait until next year, what you see on the market now will only increase. Property does increase every year. Yes, there is a percentage to it, but I don't think everyone is guided by that percentage. So the best time to purchase is right now. Knowing what you want, getting your budget, getting pre-approved, getting yourself where you can get an NHT loan plus a joint loan from another mortgage institution. Yes. So the best time to purchase is right now. And every year you do get a year older, and that does affect how much you're able to borrow. So the best time to purchase is tonight, right now, this very second. And you need to, girl,
I
you need
hear you. I love the
to
initiative. And as I said, I don't mind you doing it. Talk. Let people understand that the best time is always no,
know,
not later.
right,
No.
right now. Don't and I think even for me, before real estate, coming into real estate, I was always of the mindset that why I would never can afford something. But then I realized that what I looked at yesterday is now X amount more. And I had to put myself in the mind frame that if I need something, I am going to have to save towards it. I'm going to have to discipline myself towards it because nobody's going to do it for me. I think we deserve, our children deserve to inherit more than shoes and clothes and debt and all of that. So we need to put ourselves in the position where, for me, my mother didn't own a home when I was growing up. I want to ensure that I start my child off with something that she doesn't have to start from where I was. So by the time she finished university, if it was that it was a loan, a student loan, or any other loan I took out, when she start working, she doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to be thinking about paying rent while paying off all of these loans because it really sets you back financially from the goals that you would want to accomplish at a certain age. So we have to think about it. We have to discipline ourselves, and that is really it. It's a discipline, just like some everything else. It's a commitment. You committed to 5 years in high school, then you committed to 3, 4, 5, 7 years in university. It's the same thing with owning a property. You have to make that initial commitment. I want to own my home at a certain age or within a certain year, and I'm going to discipline myself. I'm going to work with someone who can help me to get there. And even if you come to me all pre-qualified and everything, there's still pitfalls that I'd have to walk you through, especially as a first-time buyer. If you're seasoned, it's the same thing, because sometimes you may not have the time to be running up and down, doing the check, doing the due diligence that you should be doing. And that is how I come in. And guess what, guys? You don't pay my fees. As the purchaser, all of the advice, all of the hand holding that you're getting is free to you, the buyer. Yes. So
Wow.
it makes sense to work with a realtor. It just makes sense to work with a realtor. And of course, it makes better sense to work with the golden girl.
Girl. I love it. I love it. And like I said, it's just what you said to me just now was a real eye opener, because I said the same thing. My parents did not think about me when they were having me. So I do have siblings too, but nobody really thought about us today. They just
Right.
thought about then.
Right.
So if you are here listening and you heard Golden Girl and you're there ifing and butting, just bear in mind that the longer you take to own where you live is the longer it will take,
For
right?
you to
And then
own
your
where you
children are
live.
going, go again.
The longer you take to own where you live will be the longer it takes for you to really own where you live.
And your children are going to have to come and struggle the way that you're struggling. So if you're saying that you won't be able to enjoy it, don't worry about that. Set things in order. Set your house in order. Let us talk Bible now. Set
Yes.
your house in order so that your children can come and inherit something.
Yes.
Yes,
Being
that's
smart.
wisdom. All right. And my final concern, you said it is always good to work with a realtor. Do we still need an attorney? Because I think I saw somewhere that if you're purchasing a home, there was this girl on TikTok, she was talking about real estate, and she was saying that you have to have an attorney's fee, among other things. Do we still need an attorney?
You still need an attorney. You still need an attorney to do the legal side of the property owning. So, yes, I may lead you and guide you and possibly can tell you some of the things and the expenses that you would want, but how it is set, you have to have an attorney to carry the sale, to
Mm.
do the legal part of owning that property, which means to transfer the property from the previous owner to you.
Right. And that's what differentiates a squatter from a homeowner.
Can I tell you?
Come
There's a lot
stone
of
me
squatters
now.
in Jamaica. There are a lot of squatters in Jamaica, and squatters are illegal, by the way. So you can be on the premises today, and they come with a bulldozer tomorrow, and yeah, you're there illegally. Although before it gets there, most persons will warn you. And I must mention a lot of Jamaicans have the notion that if I stay on Shanique's property, because Shanique has been living in Westmoreland for however how much years, and she has not done anything with the property after a certain time period, and I'm paying the taxes, I own the property. I can go and apply for the property. Newsflash, it is not that easy and it is not that simple. So I do know, because I've heard of it and I've seen persons, I've had persons call me asking how they can do it, how they can go about getting adverse possession, because that is the word, the term that is used, adverse possession, but it's not as easy and it is costly just the same as if somebody was buying the property. And yeah, because you still have to use an attorney for that as well. So it's not just paying the person's taxes, fence it round, living on it, planting it up. It's more than that. Even if the person is not taking care of the premises, you're going to have to prove to the court that they should award you possession of somebody else's property. So it's not after I live on it 12, 13 years and paying the taxes. That's not how it goes. In some cases you're just paying the person's taxes for them because you're not going to get back the money anyway. Um, yeah, so I had to mention that because for a lot of squatters, it's in their head that yes, I can own this after a few years.
And funny enough, I learned that in school. So I hope my lecturer is not here. But a few years ago, I don't remember the name of the course, but they were telling us about, for example, you rent a house, and if you live in it after a certain amount of years, you basically own it. So I'm like, hey, I don't want anybody to come own my house if I'm renting it. So I think that's the reason why a lot of landlords rotate their tenants after a certain period of time, because of this fear that the tenant is going to own their property. So I'm
It
glad you
is
made mention of
landlords
that.
and for a lot of rural areas, sorry, I realized that landlords don't create lease agreements. So that's where the fear comes in sometimes, because persons don't know how to create a lease agreement, so they don't have a lease agreement. They're just collecting rent every month, and they just think that, okay, after a period of time this person can come in. To tell you the truth, there are persons who actually try it, but as I said, it's not as easy as the general public think, that if I'm renting and they're possibly gone overseas and they have not, all they do is collect the rent. Some persons don't even collect the rent, they just tell the tenant to use it to clean up the premises, paint up the place, and just take care of my place for me. And some landlords may think that if they do this, or because they don't have a lease agreement to protect them, because, and let me tell you something, as a renter, demand your receipts, ensure that everything is captured in your lease agreement. So let us touch on this little, because it's painful for me, and this is, let me tell everyone why I'm so passionate about helping young persons to own their home. I remember I was renting somewhere in a nice community, or should be a nice community, and I got ill. I got ill where I was working. Um, that was done. I had to leave. And I spoke to my landlord and asked her for 2 months. I had to do a CT scan. I had to do some other tests as well. So I didn't have the funds to handle everything. So I asked her for 2 months. The lady said yes. However, when the first month come, I don't spend half the money doing all of these tests and everything. She gave me 2 days, and then she came knocking because we lived on the same premises. Um, the rent is due. I'm like, I don't understand. I asked you for 2 months. Saying, no. Me could have never right my dear 2 months. This is my little pension. And she started. I said, oh my God, man, I have no money. I'm not working. I have a child. Jesus, help me. Father, only you alone can help me out. I didn't have anybody to borrow the money from. So you know how this goes. The first month was misery. The second month, misery. I couldn't go anywhere else because I'm still trying to look a job at this time. I've been doing some things, but it's still not enough to cover the bills, the child expenses, and the rent. And I did ask you for the 2 months. So in my mind, I used up all I had to do that. One evening, I came home and the house was flooded. She put a hose through the window, turn on the pipe, flood the house. Because from the third day she didn't get the rent, she gave me notice. And this is why I'm so passionate about persons, because we do have landlords like those. That was I've heard about situation like that. I never knew. I didn't even believe it until I experienced it. Some of these landlords can be horrible. And when you have the control over your own space, you eliminate these kind of things. You may have been a good paying tenant, because I was a good paying tenant, never miss a beat. Sometimes I'm very early, you know, and I found myself in a situation, but that landlord could not even give me a month or 2 months. So these situations happen, and I want persons to, everybody will not own somewhere. We all know this. But if you can put yourself in a position where you can own what you're living in, be in a position that if the person wants to sell, you already started your process and was looking. So being there for X period of time, you will get the preference to buy. And if you can afford it, you can really own where you live. But also, they're good landlords. I had a landlord after living at this place for about 6 years. They didn't want me to leave. They did not want me to leave. They begged me to stay, but I was moving out of the parish to work, and it wouldn't make any financial sense. And they said, Camelia, I've never had to paint the place. I've never had to change anything. You take care of the place. Like, please stay. I said, I can't, because I cannot afford to travel from so far. So you do have good landlords. And I remember in that 6 years, I switched jobs. And there was a 3 month period where I couldn't afford, and I spoke to my landlord, and they gave me a break. After the 3 months, what they did, we sat down. Okay, pay me half of each month on the no month, the forward month. So until I clear that balance, it was half of what the monthly amount was. So you do have the contrast, but if you can own where you live, it is always best for you. Um, Before you ask any question and before I forget, let me just throw some things in. Uh, NHT, self-employed persons, you can tap into NHT benefits. You just need to go in, make the application. They're going to work out what you earn per month or per week or fortnightly, and they will work that out with you, and you pay that as you get paid, right? If it's a bank transfer, you can set that up as well. However, the good thing about that, after contributing for one consecutive year, you can apply for an NHD loan. So I wanted to tell persons that, because you have vendors in the market, you have the uncart guy, you have the guy or the female who load the bus, and trust me, they're earning money. They are earning money. You have the shoes maker. Not because you're not employed, it doesn't mean that you cannot contribute to NHD. You can contribute as a self-employed person. Another thing, NHD is the only tax we pay, is the only contribution we make, let me correct that we can actually get back some returns. So as January the 1st come, if you are contributing to NHD, please go collect your money. NHD has surplus over there, and I'm not going to touch Rootven Road, but yeah, just collect your returns. Just collect your returns. It is very simple, and if you don't know how to do it, you can message me, WhatsApp, Facebook, whichever, in Instagram, and I'll walk you through the process. But as January 1st come, please, as a matter of fact, I have persons sitting up from the 31st of December. Yes, to ensure. And they've made it so easy. They will, once you apply online, they will send the contribution to whichever outlet you want it. So if you want it to go into your bank account. And for persons who are saving towards a house, when you get this contribution, you can just go put it in your high save account or whichever savings account, and it contributes to your deposit or your attorney fee, whatever it is, all the closing costs. Um, there's two other things that persons we don't hear in mainstream, and this is why you come to a realtor, because we have all the juices. NHT will lend contributors, once you're qualified, they will lend you what they call contribution refunds towards your deposit, a CRTD loan. A lot of persons don't know about this. You just need to apply for it when you're applying for your NHT loan, or tell them that you would want to have this amount accessible to you. For persons, it would be the amount that is not collected. So your returns that you don't collect, that is what they give to you as a portion towards your deposit. So you can tap into that. So that's little extra money that you didn't have to put in the little shortfall, along with your refunds that you're collecting in January. So you hear me telling you how you can just get a little extra to save towards the deposit. Okay. Also, not a lot of persons know, but NHT has a housing loan. Cluster meaning 9 persons can put together to buy property. How it works, I'm just going to give you skim off the top because there are more details to it. Um, so you spot you have some friends, some girlfriends from university or wherever you guys start working. And you have, yes, I see you start thinking about all those persons start working.
I've heard about it.
You heard about it? Good.
Yes.
So there you may have seen a large lot of land, maybe a 2 acre or 3 acre selling, but you are not able to purchase all of it on your own, or you don't need that much land space. You can get 9 friends, co-workers, church brothers and sisters, and you approach NHT with this. 9 of you can purchase the property together, and it becomes a little scheme development. You know, them nice developed areas with them gated, you guys can do it, and you can call it whatever you want to call it as well. Not only that, 9 of you, right? But you may not be able to, even with the 9 of you, you may not be able to purchase a lot space in there on your own. You can combine with your spouse. So each one of those 9 person can combine with another person. 18 persons now can purchase something. So we're talking about the affordability. We are looking at those areas that you can tap into to own where you live. So you may not be able to afford it on your own, but these are ways that you can put together as a group and own where you live. And you don't have to look at the neighbor. You can build up your wall. So if you and the neighbor don't want to talk, or it could be your family members. Maybe you have a large family, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers and sisters. You can come together, 9 of you, and purchase that lot. Call it the scheme, whatever. It could be all your last name. The Carter's estate. You understand? So I wanted to mention those before I forgot them. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds stylish. And it's really encouraging because when I first heard about it, I was like, how is this even possible? Friends coming together to purchase a house or a land or something.
Yeah. So
Things are really
when you hear
changing.
it, you're not thinking about the finer details. You're like, no, I don't want that, because what if me and this person stop talk and all of these
Yeah.
things. But it's not like you're sharing the same lot. I would advise, if you are married, you both make the application, or even common law, you both make the application together. You're tapping into, because remember, $6.5 million. If each lot is selling for $5 million, you and your spouse, that's 2.5 for the land. Then you get the balance because you were both qualified for the entire 6.5. Then you get the balance to build. So it's combining what you both have and building. And as I said, we're talking about some person, I don't want to do it with my friend. What if we stop talking? Put up your fence. Put up a nice little fence. You don't have to talk to the neighbor if you don't want to, but you have shared into owning that space where you live, and that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes we buy in schemes and we don't like the neighbor. What do? Put up a fence. It's the same thing. It's the same approach. It's just that NHD is now giving you that approach, or giving you another option to build your home. And there are other benefits you can, and you notice I'm talking about NHD because they've been in the light negatively, even though I don't agree with everything. But I want
Yeah.
persons to know that there are good aspects that persons are not talking about. For JPS, NHE actually lends you money to put up solar panels on your roof. So that's something that you can tap into. You can call them and ask the questions. And I think right now, where GPS has us, I mean, who doesn't want a solar system? And if I've heard about persons paying higher purchase to go to parties. So they take out loans so they can buy the clothes, they can do all of these things to go to a big party. Why not take a NHD loan to put a solar panel on your house and pay that back every month? That makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's a higher purchase that I would tell anybody, because it's really a higher purchase. That's a higher purchase that I'll tell anybody that you need to tap into. Another thing is NHD zero rated percentage interest rate for those persons who are earning less than, and you would have to go in and work this out, and NHD work this out with you. You remember that young person that I told you bought her property?
Yeah.
She was able, because she was earning under a certain bracket, she is paying back NHT loan interest free. So the $6.5 million is the $6.5 million she's actually paying back on a monthly. And I think I don't remember how much your payment was, but I don't think it passed $25,000 a month. I don't even think it reached that amount. And if you can afford a $30,000 mortgage or a 35 or $30,000 rental, consider owning your own, because that could have been close to what you're going to pay back every month in mortgage installments. You're living in peace. You have no landlord to bother you. You may be late with your payments sometimes, but I'll tell you, try not to be late. It shows good on your credit. But at the end of the day, the space is yours to fix up, to paint, to move around, however you feel fit to do.
Yeah. All right. It all sounds good. There's a question here. What is the lowest cost for a house?
I wish I could give you a definite answer for that. The prices that you see in the market is the prices that exist. So what contribute to the value or the house price is the location, the age of the property, the size of the property, the condition of the property, and I cannot stress it enough. Location, location, location. You may see something that's on the market right now for $6.5 million, which is a house. We rarely ever see these on the market. When you actually look at it, it's either unfinished structure or it's a structure that is in dire repairs, and it's in Moko or close to Moko. And if you know where Moko is, it's pretty rural. So you don't have a set lowest or highest price. The value of properties is location, the age, and demand. The demand
Mm-hmm.
for a certain location. Look at Kingston. If you're buying right now, I'm not sure you would want to set your eyes on Kingston, because the demand for Kingston has pushed the property prices sky high. And remember, I said in the beginning, your first home is not may not be your dream home. So you dream to live in Kingston, maybe you need to buy something in St. Catherine first. And of course, you have to come to the St. Catherine Queen for that.
Oh, yes. That makes a lot more sense. Somebody who knows the area and who knows, yeah, a thing or two about what's going on. That makes a lot of sense. The places that are in demand, we have to consider the fact that there are other persons who are dreaming about similar things, right? And so that demand is really going to make things a bit more expensive.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. So, guys, I see you all watching. It sounds really good. I know it sounds good. Yes, it sounds good. So, we don't have no question, right? Only me have questions.
Ask the questions, I'm here to answer.
All right. This question
While
look
you're
like it come in there.
do you help
Do
with
you help with? Mhm.
NHD application? I I give you a list of what NHD needs, but NHD usually, and they've become very efficient these days, believe it or not, even with COVID. They give you the availability letter in a shorter time space. But I give you the information so you can go and make the application. So once you go to NHD, you would have had everything ready for them to just do the application same time.
Okay. It's all 9 or 18 persons. Do all 9 or 18 persons have
Yes,
to be through
so for
NHS?
the cluster, and I believe this is the cluster, for
Yeah.
the cluster, you would have to meet the minimum requirements from NHD. So you all have to be NHD contributors, and yeah, you all have to be NHD contributors.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. All right. Guys, we have 5 minutes to an hour. Send in the questions quick and fast. It's really good to have you, Golden Girl.
Thank you.
Yes, I got a lot of info. It's just me now need for do what me need for do.
Yeah. Put it in
Um,
practice.
Go again.
Put it in practice.
Yeah, the discipline is needed because of course Christmas is right around the corner, and the people want ham, the people want chicken and all of these things. The people want decorations to run up their light bill. The discipline is necessary.
But what is more important? Having all of those things in your own home or having all of
Mhm.
those things in somebody else's property? That's what makes the difference. And a key point, once you decide that you want to, so let's say you want your goal for next year, 2022, is to own where you live, please do not sign off or become a guarantor on anybody's loan. Whether it needs
Mhm.
to, whether it's something at a furniture store or it's a credit, it doesn't matter. Please do not sign off as a guarantor on anyone's loan when you decide that this is the year or this is the time that I'm going to make savings towards owning where I live. Reason being, if that person default, you now have a large loan to repay and it's going to show up on your credit score. It's going to show up on
Pimple.
your credit history. And that now will cut into how much you're able to borrow because this is a loan that you didn't sign up for yourself, but you find yourself repaying it. And yes, I know we love our family dearly, but sometimes, and this is where the discipline comes in, sometimes you have to lock your eye, or let's put it a different way. You know the blinders that the horses have on so they can focus on where they're
Right.
going. You have to put on your blinders. Family, friend, no, this is the year I want to own, so I'm looking straight ahead. So you have to keep your blinders on. And that would include telling your friends and family no. As hard as it is, telling them no. And if you are married or you're in a common law situation, you both need to sit down and have that conversation. I've had work with couples who with they thought they wanted the same thing, and we started the whole process. This is what you possibly need to put, this is where you need to put yourself so you can own the property a couple months down the line. You have persons switching jobs. This is after they got their pre-approval. After you're pre-approved for the loan, you switch jobs. That pre-approval is null and void now. You have to start over the process. And these mortgages are not going to give you a loan if you just start working at the new company for a month. So you have to think about those things as a couple and decide if we're going to do this. And I know I don't like where I work, and I know my supervisor giving me hell. I know the co-workers hate me, but I have the goal and I'm going to put this and I'm going to keep. And don't go buying a new car unless you plan to sleep in the car, live in the car. So don't go making those big purchases when you decide that this is the year that I want to own my own home. So I leave you guys with just a few tidbits. Think about where you want to own your own home or land to build on. Think about how close it is to work, school, church, all the other amenities that you'll need. Think about the access to healthcare. If you know that you have your mother to take care of and she'll be living with you, don't go to somewhere that in case you have an emergency with your mother, it takes you an hour to reach to a healthcare facility. Not only that, if you have young children, you know you have to think about that as well. They can become ill at 1 o'clock in the morning. How fast or how soon can I reach at a doctor's office or the hospital? So you think about those. Think about access to public transport. Yes, the land is cheap, but it is 2 miles away from the main road. And when I take the taxi at this time, especially at Christmas time when we know the thief them rampant, I have to walk 2 miles from the taxi stand because this taxi driver decided that he's not traveling that long, lonely, rough road with me. I have to walk from that bus stop to my home. I bought the land because it was cheap. Six of one, half dozen of the other. It makes no sense. So think about the accessibility to public transport. Have an open mind and stick to your budget. Some of the things that you can buy a fixer upper, look, the whole thing won't be perfect, people.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that you can go on HGTV and do for yourself. And investing in that, it kind of make the home yours. You just feel good about it. Sometimes you have to think about that as well. So keep an open mind. It may not have been what you really wanted, but it's a roof over your head. It's not leaking. The walls are solid. The location is okay and it's affordable. Again, your first house may not be your dream home, but you have to start somewhere. I did mention clean up your credit already, but
Yeah.
yeah, those are some of the things that you. Oh, and another good thing to think about, if you decide to have a family, think about how close you are to some recreation facility, whether it wants to be a park or a nice little green space that you can, take the children to. So yes, and of course, think about affordability. Do not, do not, do not, do not, do not enter the market. Do not come to me and say, "Why, Golden Girl, Camelia, Miss Carter, I want to live over cherry gardens," but you're not earning cherry gardens money, right? I cannot get you the champagne on beer budget. I am sorry. I love you to death, but I cannot get you the champagne on your beer budget. So we're going to have to stick to the beer until we can afford champagne. Okay? Right. So those are my tidbits, my takeaway. And yeah, feel free to contact me. Um, I'll walk you through the process. Whether you started already, that's fine. Whether you're seasoned, that's fine. If you want to purchase your third property with me, no problem. If it's income, I'll help you as well. And it's always good to know the reason or what you intend to do with the property. Because sometimes you want to buy a residential area to put up an agricultural farm. It will not work. We do have zoning in Jamaica. You cannot put up no fall grown at the back of the house and at the people in a nice gated community scheme. Okay? And final, we all want to buy that nice gated community, and we think about all of the expenses and everything, but you cannot afford the monthly maintenance fee. You have to think about that as well, because some of these maintenance fee is over 100 US, some are even more. So you have to think about that part as well. The scheme nice, but if you don't use me and I give you all the deets, if you choose not to use me, ensure you find out from the realtor how much is the maintenance cost per month, because it is a monthly fee. And if you cannot afford that every month, no matter how nice the scheme is and you really want to go over there, do not impress the Joneses. You will lose that property and your investment. So I think I gave you too much information, so you don't need to come to me for anything, right?
They're still gonna come for hand holding. Don't worry
They
yourself.
better come to me. They better come to me.
We have two more questions. I know you said final, but they've been sitting here. I think this person wants to know what's the cheapest house on the market. I think that's what he's asking.
I wish I could answer that question. There's no such thing as the cheapest house on the market. It it will depend on where you're buying. So you can
Okay.
find something in a very rural area for $7 million, and it's in a good condition where you can move in and do the small cosmetics repairs, and then you come to a more urban area and that same house, same looking, same amount of repairs is $25 million. And in that market, in that urban area, that is the lowest on the market. That would be the at the lowest end of what is available on the market. So it depends on the area. So I wouldn't I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly.
Okay,
But if
that's
you come
fine.
to me, I will definitely help you find something within your budget.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the screen to talk to Latavia on her final, on her that's the last
We
comment.
work with the assist persons who are host hunting lawyers, etc. Kinda like a one-stop shop. Latavia, I got it correct, right? Yes, Latavia. There is a team that I work with in the industry. Been in the industry for a little while. I have attorneys at my disposal, valuators, surveyors, everyone that you would need in the buying and selling of property. I have a team that I work with.
Okay, wonderful. I hope she's still here. Latavia, I hope you got that. Carter says thumbs up to Miss Carter. So I
You're
know
welcome.
that you've gone above and beyond tonight, and I don't know how to thank you, but
And if
we
you
really
have
appreciate
unregistered
it.
land, I do title registration as well. So if you have
Oh,
property that you do not have a title for, I do title registration, or I can assist you with your title registration.
and surveys too.
Surveys, valuations, basically everything. I am in construction as well. So if you buy the land with me and you want me to build the house, no problem. We work with your budget to get you what you want. So yes, you come to a one-stop shop.
All right.
You're welcome, Latavia.
All right. Well, I think that would be it for the evening. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to contact Camelia Carter, aka Golden Girl, and ask her all the real estate questions that you have with the intention of actually proceeding with owning where you live. I need your number.
You want me to type it, or they want it? No, you want to
Yes,
give it to
please.
them?
Go ahead.
It's 876 three eight
Mhm.
seven 0134. Between the hours of 8:30 to 7 o'clock, if you message or call me anytime after or before, you may not get a response. If you call and you do not get me, just leave a message, leave a WhatsApp message. That's my WhatsApp phone as well. So leave a WhatsApp message and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able to.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you, Stephanie. But it's all because of your host, Shanique. It would not be possible if she had not reached out to me.
All right. All right. Thank you all for joining. My sinus is saying nay. So want to thank you again, Camelia. Lord God, I don't know how to thank you,
You're
but
welcome.
I
You
really,
can
really
thank me
appreciate it.
by becoming a homeowner. Whether you
Oh,
use me or not, you can thank me by owning where you live. Don't just let the information slide over your head, but put it in practice and discipline yourself to own where you live. And you can. Even with everything that's happening in the market, you can.
yeah. I really want my children to have a good start. So definitely going to get started on the discipline after Christmas.
Small bite-sized pieces. I know it's a big chunk, but small bite-sized pieces. Small bite-sized pieces.
All
You
right.
get the big
So
goals, small bite-sized pieces.
guys, forgive me for clearing my throat so many times. My sinus is dismissing me. Kemar is requesting. No, she's going to get it later on. Thank you for the reminder. Kamara is asking me for the 5 questions that I normally ask all my guests. 5 quick and easy questions, like it's like a personality test, but it's not a, it's just for persons to get to know you beyond the professional side. So it's nothing too personal. It's just so that
Sure.
we can connect with you on a human level.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All
Born ready.
right. So the first question is, if you could be an actress, who would it be?
If I could be an actress, who would it be?
Mm-hmm.
Sandra Bullock. That's my
Oh,
girl. That's my girl.
yeah. Sandy B always brings it. Like, oh, you bring it tonight? Yeah. All right. Um, Second question is, what's your favorite color?
I don't have one. Um, it's about four. So I don't
Just
have
name one.
one.
Give
Black,
all of them then.
black, gray, white, red.
All right. Favorite self-care tip?
Rest. Take time out for yourself. Rest.
All right. Favorite food or thing to cook?
Lord Jesus. My favorite food is ackee and saltfish with anything except
Oh,
rice because I don't eat rice, but ackee and saltfish with anything. What
so
I love to cook, um, I don't eat meat, so I love to cook seafood.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. How many questions am I at now? 4? No, when I reach my favorite question, it.
That one is so odd, Shanique.
All right. Laughing is my superpower. What is yours?
Laughing is your superpower. What is my superpower? I think just making the persons around me feel comfortable. I think that would be my superpower.
And you've done it. All right. And my favorite question of them all, and I know that the viewers are waiting. Camelia Golden Girl Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Please give us your
Dum, dum, dum,
best
dum.
British accent.
I don't think I know how to do that. I
Oh my God.
I don't think I know how to. I don't. I don't
Yeah, give it a try, man. Just give it a try.
um. Ah, I don't think I can. Um.
What a-
I don't think I can. I don't think I know any other accent than what I speak in. Um. Wow.
Do you watch any African movies? Can you say even a word?
I leave the African stuff up to my mother. I'm not a movie person. I'm more like to read and write. So I don't do much TV watching.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. But that is
I'm pretty
your
boring outside of real
homework.
estate.
That is your homework. Learn
Okay.
something African or British. You
British.
will catch on.
I can't believe I don't know how to do a British accent. I've never
From
thought
a
of that.
British,
Hmm.
and we're supposed to be from the British colony. Hmm?
Right.
The British aren't
Right.
pleased at all.
Hmm.
But
Maybe
it's
my
fine. We,
grandmother grew up, well, lived in London for so many years. And I don't know how to speak like she did. Wow.
wow.
Okay.
It's fine. Don't be ashamed.
I'm not
It's
ashamed.
fine.
I could give you patwa though.
Girl.
Where
All
you
right,
bend
give
to
us
go?
something apart and close it off.
Where you bend to go?
Ah, what that mean?
Where you bend to go?
Where are you going?
Yes. Montego
I'm not
Bay.
so. Maybe this needs to be my homework. No, I'm not so versed on the other patois, but excellent show tonight. I'm sure that our viewers gained a lot. They're saying to me that I missed a digit. I missed a digit from the number. I don't know how I do it.
Oh, yeah. 3870134.
3870134.
Yes.
Okay, guys, it's there. Where is it? All right, Nick, you're enjoying yourself. All right. That's it. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Camelia. I'm sure that you enjoyed the session.
I'm glad you did.
We will
Believe it or not,
definitely
I'm
keep
very
in touch.
shy.
What?
Yes, I am. So I was
All right.
nervous the whole time. So I need to confess now because it's talk truth. So I was nervous the whole interview until it's time now to leave. I'm usually nervous. It doesn't
Really?
matter. Yes, it doesn't matter how how many um, presentations I do. I do get extremely sweaty, nervous before, and then possibly close to the end, I may feel a little bit comfortable. But yeah, I'm nervous right through.
Latavia is laughing at you.
Latavia's laughing. Oh, Latavia. Oh my. Yes, I'm pretty shy. If you meet me in person, outside of work, I will be a very, very shy person.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's always amazing when shy people say they're shy. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm shy too, but I'll leave that for another time.
That's
But
fine.
thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to educate us on the good about NHT that we don't hear in the mainstream. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling us about real estate and owning our own home and how important it should be to us. Having the ability to give that foundation to our children or whomever else we are guarding. So much appreciation. Big up yourself. Have a great night. Have a great Christmas. A wonderful Boxing Day.
And a happy new year.
Yes, very happy new year when it comes.
Oh, it will be happy because I know you guys. You, you are not a true version of a shy person. Okay, when you meet me
Ooh.
outside of work, when you meet me outside of real estate, you would see.
All right. So big up yourself, Miss Carter, and thank you again for joining us. Have a wonderful night, everyone. This has been Talk Truth Series, Real Talk, Real People Live. See you guys on Thursday at the same time.